does everyone have to be so mean to Figment? How y'all doing this evening, and welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to the top 10 rides in Tokyo Disney. I personally have never been to Tokyo Disney, and I honestly stumbled across this video very curious about what kind of rides they have. So I'm excited to see what their top 10 is compared to ours. Let's get right into the video.
Y'all inside the Tokyo parks with me today because I want to show you what rides are completely different from what we're used to in the States.
Me too.
All right, we are going to start out with the ride that everybody probably expects us to start out with. It is the Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. Now, this is easily the best ride in both the parks. And that's not because all the other rides aren't good, because some of them are really good. It's just how impressive this Beauty and the Beast themed dark.
So I'm assuming she's starting with number 1. And I have heard nothing but praise for this ride. Apparently, it is one of the best trackless rides of all time. Like, I have friends who have went and they said they're blown away when they ride it. This is obviously number 1.
Enchanted
apparently.
Tale of Beauty and the Beast is located in Tokyo Disneyland and takes place inside Beast's castle. So after winding your way around the castle corridors, you'll be led to the main foyer to listen to a quick recap of Beast's fate during a stunning pre-show, which is all in Japanese, by the way. If you're already familiar with the Beauty and the Beast story, you'll get it. And for the actual ride, you'll board a giant teacup, which will transport you into the story of Belle and Beast. And this is stunning. It is.
Look at that. That is a great animatronic. Are you kidding me?
Beautiful. The animatronics are top tier. The musical numbers are bubbly and cheery. And in that dining room scene, you've even got Cogsworth inside a big gelatin mold, and it's hilarious. And the magical transformation that happens at the very end, I don't even understand it. I don't know how it's done. I've watched it
that's sick. I'm sure y'all have seen this if you've even slightly looked into Tokyo Disney or anything like that. This is incredible. It's incredible Disney Imagineering at its finest. I have no idea how they do it. I don't even know where I would start with something like this, but it's freaking sick.
7 times. It's got to be projection somehow, but I don't get it at all. So for those of you smarty pants who do know, because I know a lot of you do, please just send me a message and let me know, because I'm okay with the spoiler. So this one is 10 out of 10. Good for all ages. I actually rode one time with a guy and his baby, so it's perfect for everybody. Now, the one complaint is that it's a massive, massive line. Now, that's not surprising at all.
Dude, wait a minute.
It's a massive, massive line. Now, that's
Shout out to the guy in the window. Dude, this dude is going hard. He's going to Disney and he's having fun. Like, this dude is in a whole Winnie the Pooh outfit. Did he wear this all day? Like, through the whole park? There's no way that's comfortable.
That's not surprising at all. The lines start forming for Enchanted Tale even before the park officially opens, since Disney hotel guests will have access to Happy Entry, which allows them to enter the parks a few minutes early. Also, everything over there is so much cheaper. Their park tickets are like $70. The food is cheaper, the fast passes are cheaper, the tickets are cheaper. Like, I swear to God, the hardest part of getting over there is the flight tickets, because they're like freaking $2,500 for one person. Like, that's everything. Dude, imagine going to freaking Disney for $70. That'd be insane. Dude, what a time. All right, next up is Soaring Fantastic Flight. Okay, if you've ever ridden Soarin' around the world in Disney California Adventure or Epcot, then Soaring Fantastic Flight in Tokyo Disney Sea is basically the same concept. You're on a flight simulator, you're soaring over the world. While most of the ride footage is a direct copy of what you'll experience in the States, taking you places like Australia and the Grand Canyon, India, etc., the end scenes are where the ride experience becomes different, because instead of flying over a nighttime setting of Paris, like you'll do on the US versions, you'll fly across Tokyo and the Tokyo Disney Sea Park, which was a fun little switch up. And much like how the Soarin' queues in DCA and Epcot are different from each other, the Soaring Fantastic Flight is way different from them all, and it is much, much, much cooler. Okay, they don't have Patrick Warburton in theirs, but instead of being themed around taking flight on a hang glider or plane, the Tokyo Sea version is themed around the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, or the SEA. Now, it'd probably take the rest of
That is so much cooler than ours. Ours is just a hallway with some lights and like a trivia game. This is like an actual like
Videos
queue.
describe all the behind-the-scenes lore of SEA, but in short, this is a fictional organization that can be linked to
That is
attractions
so much
throughout
cooler.
Disney resorts worldwide. So you'll see references to SEA over in the States too, at attractions like Jungle Cruise and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. You've got the SEA room at Skipper Canteen. Of course, the Adventurers Club was all SEA infused back when it was in Pleasure Island. So there's a lot of SEA stuff going on across the world. So on Soaring Fantastic Flight, the SEA theming is reflected throughout the parts that are leading up to the main ride itself. The cast members wear costumes that are more Renaissance-based than flight attendant-based, so you're going to see the men wearing blue vests, women wearing blue skirts, both of them wearing these neckties, and they have SEA
looks about
logos
the
on
exact
their
same in there,
costumes.
so.
And the queue is designed to look like a museum, highlighting the prototypes and inventions of flying machines through the ages. Now, the pre-show here is amazing. It features SEA member Camelia Falco, who is the...
Say what you will about pre-shows. I prefer our Soarin' pre-show. I'm just saying. I don't know. I just like our pre-show more. She's like, "Welcome to Soarin'. Keep these little beauties under the seat."
life out of a painting. So if you could learn how to do that too, that would be great. And then there are the ride vehicles themselves, designed to look like Da Vinci's flying machines, made with bundles of sticks tied together with rope. Very sturdy looking, would absolutely trust it with my life, no worries. Now, while soaring is a great time no matter where you're riding it, it is wildly popular in Tokyo, like way more popular than it is at both Disney California Adventure
That's
and
insane to me.
Epcot. So the lines here can be hours long for it.
I could not imagine waiting hours for Soarin'. I love Soarin'. Don't get me wrong, I go pretty much every time when I'm at Epcot. But over an hour? Are you kidding me? For Soarin'? I guess to each their own, but I
It's
don't
kind
know
of
about
the
that.
ride that everybody runs to over in Disney Sea, because everyone's running to Beauty and the Beast in Tokyo Disneyland and they're running to Soaring in Disney Sea. So this is a good ride to buy a Premier Access Pass for and avoid that massive wait. All right, next I'm talk about something that you'll probably make fun of me for, but that's okay. I am fully comfortable with that. Aquatopia might actually be my favorite ride in all of Tokyo
I don't even know what
Disney
this
Sea.
is.
I can literally hear my video editor snickering while I say this, but I am not kidding. I love this ride. Aquatopia isn't like this revolutionary animatronic dark ride or epically thrilling coaster or anything. It's just a super silly trackless boat ride, kind of like a mousetrap coaster in the water. I don't know why I like it so much. Basically, anytime you ride it, you have to smile. There's just no way to ride this ride without laughing. And there's something to be said about rides like that.
I'm going to be honest, I thought they were driving at first and I couldn't wrap my head around how they knew when to come in.
Vibes are really good. The lines are usually 30 minutes.
It reminds me of like, have you ever been to like a putt-putt course and they have those like little boats with like the water guns on the front? That's what I thought this was, I'm going to be honest.
Or less on average, unless it's a super busy day, and it's just good fun. So I would say if you get the chance to ride Aquatopia, definitely do it. And for those of you who think I am absolutely bonkers for including Aquatopia in my top 10, that's perfectly okay. We could agree to disagree. This ride is a blast. Next up is Splash Mountain. Yep, it's still here. While Splash Mountain might have taken its final plunge in Disney World and Disneyland this year to start making way for the new Tiana's by...
Is this the last Splash Mountain? Like, the last unchanged Splash Mountain? I wonder if they'll actually change this one. I don't, like, if it's the last one, I wonder if they're just gonna, like, keep it.
Adventure, Tokyo Disneyland's version is still going strong for now, and it's the only Splash Mountain left in the world.
I see.
The ride is very similar to the rides in Disney World and Disneyland.
last
There are
one.
a few different scenes, there are some funny characters that didn't get as much airtime in the other attractions, and of course it's all in Japanese, so you don't really know what's going on. But it's still fun, and if you're nostalgic for Splash Mountain, then
Unless
Tokyo Disneyland is the
Unless you speak Japanese like I don't, then you're fine.
place to go. Now, this classic log flume ride continues to be really popular in Tokyo. Again, this is one of the probably top 3 rides in Tokyo Disneyland, and you're gonna
That kind of blows my mind. I don't...
see those long lines all day
Really?
long, especially on those super hot days. So it's best to either rope drop this one or purchase a Premier Access Pass for it. Now, before Enchanted Tale with Beauty and the Beast stole its thunder, Pooh's Honey Hunt was the big deal ride of Tokyo Disneyland. Pooh's Honey Hunt is a trackless dark ride where you'll board a honey pot and join Pooh on an epic yet whimsical adventure to find some honey of his own. Think of it as a cross between the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh that we have back at home and the new Beauty and the Beast ride in Tokyo. Once again, we got a ride filled with lifelike animatronics and impressive special effects and lots of heart. The room everybody loves the most is the Tigger room, where you literally bounce with Tigger, and it's just so fun. Now, the cool thing about...
But back to my original point in all this, all the ones they showed us, they look better almost. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my nostalgic Disney World. But my God, like every ride they've shown so far looks really good. Whether the line looks good or like it's like ours, but then like 7 steps above it for like design.
Pooh's Honey Hunt, aside from it existing in general, is that it's part of the 40th anniversary Priority Pass program right now. Priority Passes are a lot like Genie Plus, but the free version, like Fast Pass. While the most popular rides of the park won't be listed in the Priority Pass lineup because you will have to pay for those Premier Access passes for the big rides. Next up is Journey to the Center of the Earth. This ride is just bonkers.
This ride is sick. I know every single time this ride comes up, I have to say this, but it's so cool. I just feel like it's so unique. Like, I think there's Disney IP with this kind of thing, but not necessarily with this. I mean, that whole like lava monster is so cool, and it's like half dark ride, half like coaster. It's
cool. A fever dream, which is why people love it. At the start of this ride, you load into a steampunk subterranean vehicle to get ready to check out the strange and bizarre world that Captain Nemo, the genius, not the fish, has unearthed. But like, when has a journey into the unknown ever ended up not being a huge drama fest, you know? So while you're exploring these cavern realms, suddenly you'll come face to face with a giant lava monster. Because, by the way, you're in a volcano.
Look at that thing. That is sick, dude. That's like if the Yeti on Everest worked. That sounds awful, but dude, look at that thing.
Volcano. And this lava monster...
That thing is so sick, and I know it's huge.
She's just trying to protect her egg babies, and your big ol' submarine looks way too intimidating for her.
That's a great animatronic.
So she hates you, which means it's time for you to skedaddle on out of here at full speed. Oh, and remember that big old volcano I mentioned earlier? Yeah, that's Mount Prometheus, and that's where you're going to find Journey to the Center of the Earth. Lava monster, active volcano, it's all coming together. Since Mount Prometheus serves as the icon of Disney Sea, make sure to keep an eye on it because it's going to erupt from time to time throughout the day.
That's a cool centerpiece.
Much grander scale. Now, Bria tells me that Journey to the Center of the Earth is set up very similarly to Radiator Springs Racers and Test Track. I don't know if I believe her. She's sent me lots of videos to convince me. But for me, I probably still prefer Radiator Springs Racers to Journey to the Center of the Earth because there's actually a coherent story there. But Journey to the Center of the Earth, like I said, is just absolute bonkers, and it's hilarious to ride. You're just like laughing the whole time thinking like, what is happening right now? Plus, Journey to the Center of the Earth, whatever you can see of it, is gorgeous and kind of unsettling and great for those who love experiencing the darker side of Disney Imagineering. But it's hard to piece together what's going on during this ride, especially with the language barrier. And even if you read the Wikipedia article about Journey to the Center of the Earth, you still don't fully understand what's going on. And then the ride's suddenly over and you're still left wondering what on earth you just witnessed. Okay, next up, Tower of Terror. Now, this is not the Tower of Terror you know back in Hollywood Studios.
This Tower of Terror is so sick because all the other Tower of Terrors form to the whole, like, you know, Twilight Zone, lightning strikes. This is like a completely fabricated story for this because, you know, the Japanese people probably wouldn't have fully understood the whole Twilight Zone thing. They wouldn't resonate with it as much as we will. But they did amazing. It's a great story. I mean, it looks so cool. It's like you're riding Tower of Terror in a completely different light. It's really neat.
We've got a whole new storyline for the tower over in Tokyo Disney Sea. In Hollywood Studios, Tower of Terror follows the ill-fated elevator passengers who have fallen into the fifth dimension after the hotel was struck by lightning one Halloween night, basically focused on the Twilight Zone, right? But in Tokyo Disney Sea, Tower of Terror follows the story of Harrison Hightower, who is, again, part of the SEA, that Society of Explorers and Adventurers, and just so happens to look exactly like Joe Rohde. That is not an accident. That is 1000% on purpose. Anyway, Harrison brings back a cursed statue from his travels, and it decides to go on a rampage, as cursed statues tend to do. The ride itself in Tokyo Disney Sea is much tamer than the one in Hollywood Studios or even Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in DCA. So it kind of feels like Tower of Terror light when it comes to the actual ride. So that means if you can't handle Tower of Terror stateside, you might be able to handle this one. It's a lot.
I wonder why. I thought it would have been the exact same mechanics, but just rethemed. I did not know it was slower. I didn't know it would be like a Tower of Terror light. That's actually, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know if I'd like that.
Less kind of tummy turning, I should say. But despite it being so much tamer, for some reason they have a 5-point harness. So you don't just have like one seatbelt, you've got like a shoulder strap too. So just a heads up, when you get on the ride, you're going to have to put your shoulder strap on as well. And the cast member will yell at you if you don't. So make sure that you do that. So the big difference here is going to be that pre-show where that statue kind of goes bonkers, and the ride queue is really, really beautiful as well. So while the ride is based on the same sort of engineering premise, it's going to feel like a totally different ride to you just because of the storyline. Now, one thing to look out for if you are a Joe Rohde fan, there are a lot of depictions of Joe Rohde around the exit and the gift shop, and they're kind of...
Also, in case anyone here doesn't know who that is, he's basically like one of the most infamous Imagineer set designers, I'm pretty sure. He designed a lot of very important things like Avatar, like Pandora, stuff like that for the parks. He's like, and yes, he was indeed used to face model this ride. Well, I mean, he's the lead designer of Disney's Animal Kingdom. The Animal Kingdom he was the lead designer on. Insane, right? He was the principal creative force behind the park's Expedition Everest. So he was like the main guy on Expedition Everest. He designed a lot of stuff, like big stuff for Disney. He's one of Disney's like top people.
Dates. I think Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is kind of, I will say, the best of the three. I know that you're going to come for me on that one, Disney World fans, but I do think that's probably the best with overall theming and vibe. But the theming here is pretty incredible as well. And Tokyo Disney Sea has the upper hand on the exterior of this ride. The hotel's facade is sublime. It looks absolutely massive. So take many pictures and don't stop taking pictures for liking. So
that does look really, that looks really slow. I wonder how much slower that is, because Tower of Terror is one, I guess, a pretty, like, well, of course, it's not just dropping at the speed of gravity. You're being physically pulled down by like a winch system. So I mean, you're booking it. I mean, this looks
one day.
This looks kind of slow.
Next up, Indiana Jones: Temple of the Crystal Skull.
I have not seen anything on this, but this is what I'm assuming the ride that will be replacing, sadly, Dinosaur. I'm assuming it's going to look very similar to this in a lot of ways. So let's see what we have to look forward to. What we're replacing our precious dinosaur for.
So Indiana Jones Temple of the Crystal Skull is at Tokyo Disney Sea. It's generally a very similar experience to what you're going to find in Disneyland at Anaheim, just with a slightly different storyline, a crystal skull rather than a forbidden eye. You'll get the high speeds, the jolty turns, the animatronics, the impending sense of doom, the massive cavernous room, all of it. And it's a great time. But if you've ridden the one in Disneyland before, the two stories and ride mechanics aren't all that different from each other. It also has a similar ride setup to Dinosaur over in Disney's Animal Kingdom, though.
Which is why I think they're just gonna gut the place, keep all the same ride mechanics, and just throw the cars in there. I mean, if the set design is gorgeous, that's fine. But if it's just a reskin of Dinosaur, I don't know if I personally would want to lose Dinosaur for that. I don't know. I just don't know if the give is worth what we're getting.
Thanks to Disney's latest announcement about the Dinoland USA re-theme, which could include an Indiana Jones section, we're assuming that Dinosaur will transform into yet another episodic Indiana Jones ride too.
And there's already 2 of them, like one here and then one in Anaheim. I feel like they should have went another route. If they were going to take Dinosaur away from us, I wish they would have done like a roller coaster or something, but who knows? Maybe they'll crush
But nothing's
it.
been confirmed just yet. Anyway, back to Tokyo. You can pick up a free priority pass for Indiana Jones Temple of the Crystal Skull to skip over the big lines for it. Oh, and also this is one of the very few rides in Tokyo Disney that has a single rider line. All right, moving on to Monsters, Inc. Ride and Go Seek. Now, don't assume that this Monsters ride in Tokyo Disneyland compares to the one you'll find in DCA. While both of them are themed after the popular Pixar film Monsters, Inc., Tokyo's version is a little bit more immersive. Much like how Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin equips you with a blaster to shoot targets, Ride and Go Seek gives you a flashlight to help you spot.
I don't know. Every time I see this ride, I don't know how I feel about the way they designed the monsters. I think they look a little different, right?
Hiding monsters and trigger little events.
I don't think that's Sully. That's like Sully's brother.
New discovery. All in all, it's a cute little dark ride that you're not going to find in the domestic parks, and you can snag a free priority pass for this one as well. Okay, so Fortress Explorations in Tokyo Disney Sea is technically not a ride, but it is such a cool attraction that's unlike anything we have in the States, so I really wanted to tell you about it, and frankly, it does hit my top 10. Fortress Explorations is an interactive walkthrough attraction that takes you through a medieval castle and inside these epic rooms featuring things like an ancient planetarium, miniature galleons you can pilot by remote control, a Da Vinci-like flying contraption, a massive sailing ship, cannons you can actually shoot, and so much more. And while you're free to experience Fortress Explorations however you see fit, there is an interactive game here called the Leonardo Challenge if you want to become even more immersed in this amazing realm. You're going to receive a map with hints and clues that you'll have to uncover while making your way around this fort, and if you succeed, you'll become an official member of the SEA, which is my life dream realized. The map is mainly written in Japanese, but it has
Well, that's going to make it a lot harder for someone like me. Ooh.
Have the Google Translate app downloaded on your phone. You might be able to.
Here's a map to all your dreams. Also, it's in a language you don't speak. Good luck.
Scan those map sections to have them translated for you. The wonders of technology. I use the Google Translator on the toilets all the time. All right, it's time for some honorable mentions. Now, I felt bad leaving some of these rides out of my top 10 list because a lot of them are out of the top 10 list just because they're exactly the same as they are back home. And that's not really fair to them, right? But I wanted to tell you about stuff that was different. Anyway, let's talk about the honorable mentions. So 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, that's like the tamer version of Journey to the Center of the Earth. Instead of being chased by an angry lava monster mama, you'll take a semi-leisurely ride in one of Captain Nemo's submarines to help him search for the underwater city of Atlantis. And as we're all completely aware by now, nothing ever goes wrong when we team up with that rapscallion Captain Nemo. Unfortunately, this ride was closed for routine maintenance when I was there, but the first time I ever visited Tokyo Disney Sea, I did get the chance to ride it, and I remember it being charming and intriguing and a little bit cramped, but still worth a ride through. Next is Sinbad's Storybook Voyage. It doesn't get enough love in my opinion. This is over in Disney Sea as well. It's a super adorable, slow-going boat ride, kind of like It's a Small World, but following the story of Sinbad and his lovable tiger Chandu, who has quite the fan base over in Tokyo. Like, Chandu in Tokyo is equivalent to the level of obsession Figment gets in Epcot, only Chandu gets a cute ride that's enjoyable. Anyway.
Why does everyone have to be so mean to Figment? I don't think his ride is that bad. Every video I do, someone brings up Figment. That poor dude. Every single video I do, someone's like, you got Figment, and then you have Figment's ride. I don't think the ride's that bad, but whatever.
Sinbad's not usually too long of a wait, so if the ride line is manageable.
Like, what is that? You're gonna make fun of Figment, and you got this. This feels unfair.
It's worth checking it out. All right, Nemo and Friends Sea Rider. This time we're talking about the fish, not the genius, is located in Tokyo Disney Sea as well, and it's one of those simulator movie rides where you'll shrink down to fish size and do fish things like swim and explore and say hi to the Finding Nemo crew. To be frank, I'm not a huge fan of Sea Rider, but I figured I needed to add it to the honorable mentions list because obviously lots of people disagree with me, considering the line for this one can get super long. If you've got a Finding Nemo fan in your family, it may be worth the wait, but otherwise, if you find yourself missing out, it's not the end of the world. Okay, remember how Snow White's Scary Adventures had to be updated in Disneyland because the ending, where the evil hag crushes you with a boulder, was too much of a Debbie Downer? Well, if you're feeling nostalgic for the OG terrifying version, Tokyo Disneyland's still got it. Hooray for Nightmare Fuel. Haunted Mansion in Tokyo Disneyland is a carbon copy of the Orlando version, but it does have the seasonal Nightmare Before Christmas overlay.
I don't know why we don't get that. First of all, why do we not get the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay? I feel a little left out.
Like Disneyland's in California has. So yeah, it's basically a mashup of the two, and
I want it. I don't know why they won't do it for us. I feel like Disney World's one of the biggest parks.
It's incredible. And finally, we got the Happy Ride with Baymax, which is one of Tokyo Disneyland's new rides, along with Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. Happy Ride uses the same ride mechanics as Alien Swirling Saucers in Hollywood Studios and Mater's Junkyard Jamboree and Disney California Adventure. But I think because it's still so new, it's hugely popular in Japan. I wouldn't say it's an absolute must-do ride or anything, but it's still a good one for all ages, and it's pretty stinking cute. Now, personally, I did not wait in the line or buy a pass or anything to ride Happy Ride with Baymax because I could just stand outside it and film it, and I've already ridden basically what it's like. So enjoy this incredible video of people riding this ride and having such a great time, and the cast members have a dance that they do every single time, and it's hilarious to watch and so much fun. Again, just a joyful experience. The Happy Ride with Baymax does have a Premier Access Pass if you're really wanting to know what all the hype is about, but you don't want to wait in a forever long line to figure it out.
Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you DFB Guide for making an absolutely phenomenal video for me to react to today. What was y'all's favorite ride in this? Mine personally, I think Journey to the Center of the Earth is the one I would want to try the most, but put in the comment section below which one would you want to do. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.